Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarne Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam of Veda Vyas, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Canto 3, Chapter 13, Text 31. This chapter is entitled The Appearance of Lord Varaha. Svadangstraya Udhritya Mahim Nimagnam Saha Uthitaha Samruruche Rasayaha Tatra Api Daityam Gadaya Apatantam Sunabha Sandipita Tivra Manyuhu Svadangstrayo Dhritya Mahim Namagnam Sauttita Samruruche Rasayaha Tatrapi Daityam Gadaya Patantam Sunabha Sandipita Tivra Manyuhu Svadangstraya Dhritya Mahim Nimagnam Svadangstrayo Dhritya Mahim Namagnam Sauttita Sangruruche Rasayaha Tatrapi Daityam Gadaya Patantam Sunabha Sandipita Tivra Manyuhu
Svadangstrayo Dhritya Mahim Nimagnam Sauttita Sangruruche Rasayaha Tatrapi Daityam Gadaya Patantam Sunabha Sandipita Tivra Manyuhu Svadangstrayo Dhritya Mahim Nimagnam Sauttita Samruruche Rasaya Tatrapi Daityam Gadaya Patantam Sunabha Sandipita Tivra Manyuhu Svadangstrayo Dhritya Mahim Nimagnam Sauttita Samruruche Rasaya
Ladies, please. Svadangstraya, by his own tusks. Udhritya, raising. Mahim, the earth. Nimagnam, submerged. Saha, he. Uthitaha, getting up. Samruruche, appeared very splendid. Rasayaha, from the water. Tatra, there. Api, also. Daityam, unto the demon. Tadaya, with the club. Apatantam, rushing toward him. Sunabha, the wheel of Krishna. Sandipita, glowing. Tivra, fierce. Manyuhu, anger. Lord Boar very easily took the earth on his tusks and got it out of the water. Thus he appeared very splendid. Then his anger glowing like the Sudarshan wheel, he immediately killed the demon Hiranyaksha, although he tried to fight with the Lord, although Hiranyaksha tried to fight with the Lord. Purport: according to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Vedic literatures describe the incarnation of Lord Varaha, Boar, in two different devastations, namely the Chakshusha devastation and the Swayambhuva devastation. This particular appearance of the boar incarnation actually took place in the Swayambhuva devastation, when all planets other than the higher ones, Jana, Mahar and Satya, Jana, Tapa, Mahar, Satya, merged in the water of devastation. This particular incarnation of the boar was seen by the inhabitants of the planets mentioned above. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti suggests that the sage Maitreya amalgamated both the boar incarnations in different devastations and summarized them in his description to Vidura. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalak Chakshurin Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shrishtam Nama Pishati Putram Atra Sarupa Rupam Tasya Gratam Urupurim Maturim Goshtavati Radha Kundam Girivaram Radhika Madhava Samprapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Sriguram Tamnados. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Ataf Parikamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavang Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tina Smarane Hoy Vigdavinashan Anayashri Hoy Nijavanchita Pura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Then what was on the screen previously? You can put that again. Yeah, I will read some verses from the Bhagavatam, which are recited in honor of Lord Varaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mantra Tattva Lingaya Yagya Kratave Maha Dvaravavai Maha Dvaravayavaya Mahapurushaya Namah Karma Shuklaya Triyugaya Namaste. O Lord, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you as the gigantic person. Simply by chanting mantras, we shall be able to understand you fully. You are yagya, sacrifice, and you are the kratu, ritual. Therefore, all the ritualistic ceremonies of sacrifice are part of your transcendental body, and you are the only enjoyer of all sacrifices. Your form is composed of transcendental goodness. You are known as Triyuga, because in Kali Yuga you appear as a concealed incarnation, and because you always fully possess the three pairs of opulences. Yasya swarupam kavayo vipaschito guneshu daresh vivajata vedasam matnanti matna manasa didrikshavo gurhang kriyartire nama iritatmane. By manipulating a fire-generating stick, great saints and sages can bring forth the fire lying dormant within wood. In the same way, O Lord, those expert in understanding the absolute truth try to see you in everything, even in their own bodies, yet you remain concealed. You are not to be understood by indirect processes involving mental or physical activities, because you are self-manifested. Only when you see that a person is wholeheartedly engaged in searching for you do you reveal yourself. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Maya gunair vastu nirikshitatmane anvikshayanga tishayatma buddhibir. Oh, I missed the first line. Dravya kriya het vayane shakatribhir maya gunair vastu nirikshitatmane anvikshayanga tishayatma buddhibir nirasta maya kritaye namo namaha. The objects of material enjoyment, sound, form, taste, touch, and smell, the activities of the senses, the controllers of sensory activities, the demigods, the body, eternal time, and egotism are all creations of your material energy. Those whose intelligence has become fixed by perfect execution of mystic yoga can see that all these elements result from the actions of your external energy. They can also see your transcendental form as supersoul in the background of everything, Therefore, I repeatedly offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Karoti vishvastiti sangyamodayam yasyepsitam nepsitam ikshitur gunaihi maya yatayo brahmate tadashrayam. Gravno namaste gunakarma sakshine. O Lord, you do not desire the creation, maintenance, or annihilation of this material world, but you perform these activities for the conditioned souls by your creative energy, exactly as a piece of iron moves under the influence of a lodestone. Inert matter moves when you glance over the total material energy. Pramatya daityang prativaranang mridhe yomang rasaya jagadadi sukaraha kit kritvagradang stre niragadudanvata kriranevebha pranatasmitang vibhum. Iti. My Lord, as the original boar within this universe, you fought and killed the great demon Hiranyaksha. Then you lifted me, the earth, from the Garbhodak ocean on the end of your tusk, exactly as a sporting elephant plucks a lotus flower from the water. I bow down before you. These are prayers offered by the earth and others too. Varahadeva, we'll find them in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam. Today we're celebrating the appearance of Lord Varahadeva. The anthropologists and students of religion would call this zoomorphism. What's the word in Tamil for zoomorphism? Probably no such word. There probably is in Russian because it's more connected with the Western culture. It's an English word. It means to imagine God in an animal form, ascribe an animal form. Just anthropomorphism is a more well-known word, which I'm sure you've all heard before. Not very sure. Which means to imagine a human or as God, or to ascribe human-like characteristics to God. I guess anthropology, Freudian psychology, and so on. Anyway, Varahadev ki jai, and to hell with all you useless anthropologists, and you can be a worm in the stool that a mundane pig eats. Varahadev is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Don't believe it? Well, you won't be as fortunate as Hiranyaksha to personally find out. Varahadev and Nrsimhadev, I was just thinking this morning, they have many things in common. There's the temple of Lakshmi Varaha Narasimha near to Vishakhapatnam. Now it's all merged. It used to be two different places. You remember? It used to be two different, but the whole metropolis has gone up the hill now. That's called Simhachalam, which means there seems to be more emphasis on Nrsimhadev. Other things in common, they killed two brothers. They both had an unusual appearance. Varahadeva appeared from the nostril of Lord Brahma, and Nrsimhadev appeared from a pillar, both unexpected kind of appearances. Krishna's appearance, Ram's appearance, Gaura's appearance, somewhat expected because there was a pregnancy. And there are others also, Matsya, unexpected appearance. And so that they have in common. Both animal-like forms, both go by the name of, one of their names is Ugradangshra. And dangstra means tooth, or in the case of Varahadeva, his tusk, which is an oversized tooth according to biologists. But it seems that that's accepted in Sanskrit terminology. Ferocious teeth or tusk. Historically, both were prominently worshipped. The worship of Varahadeva, we're told by historians, we don't necessarily reject everything the historians say, was quite prominent in India at one time, and especially was a symbol of royalty. Different kings may adopt different animals. We have the Gajapati of Utkal, of Orisha, identified as with the elephant, another power. The idea is power, thinking of power. Demons think in terms of power, but the Vedic kings, they have to think in terms of power, not misusing it. The demons think in terms of power, they think Ishvaro Ham, and therefore Aham Bhogi, I'm the controller, therefore I'm entitled to enjoy. He needs to get the Tamil translation. Huh? I'm going to arrange that for him. But the king, who's also called Ishvara, within a limited province, limited extent, they're also enjoyers, but they understand themselves to be sub-enjoyers. But the demons, they're infatuated with the idea of power. Last time I was in America, I saw in a devotee's house a book called The 40 Rules or Laws of Power. It's a completely demoniac book. It just tells you how to be a demon. But, I didn't read it. It's quite a thick book. It's the modern day Machiavellian ideas. And it's just how to... No, there was another famous book that Think and Grow Rich, was how to make friends and influence people. But this is more realistic, this book. It's just how to be a bastard and you can pretend to be friends with people, but you don't actually love anyone. And we see that in demoniac society, that people can be friends and next moment they'll kill. If for political reason, we see that Aurangzeb, he just killed his brothers. Threat. This guy in Saudi Arabia, he did pretty much the same thing. Threat, as long as they're alive, they're a threat. So kill them. Although Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they had a good relationship based on power equation. Demons think of terms of power, not of love. They're envious of everybody. Especially when Krishna comes. They're especially envious of Krishna because he really is the most beautiful, famous. People love him. Demons are trying to be like Krishna, but when Krishna comes, they become very angry. They almost spontaneously, they hate him because they're envious. So people are envious, they're going to be more envious of Krishna because he is so powerful and popular. He's got naturally, without having to try for it, he naturally has whatever they want. So we're very grateful to demons like Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa and others who almost, you could say, they compel Krishna to appear because he has to keep his word. He says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata abhutanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujameham paritranaya sadhunam vinashayata dushkritam. I come to destroy the demons. So he has to do that sometimes. And it takes quite a big demon to attract Krishna to personally come. So they have a role to play also. Krishna orchestrated this whole, why Hiranyaksha's in this world anyway, is all orchestrated by Krishna, so he could come and kill it. There you go. That's not very moral, is it? Throw you down, you're doing your job nicely, but throw you down and make you into a demon so I can kill you. Explain that. Don't have to explain. Krishna doesn't have to explain anything to anyone. He has the right. So they may come looking for him. They want to kill him. He doesn't have to go looking for them. They enhance his pastimes. And many of the demons, they're more interesting than the kind of demons we get today in suits and ties. They're all kinds of horse demon and whirlwind demon. And here we have Hiranyaksha. He also had Ugra Dangstra. That's described. He had fierce teeth also. Once Krishna went outside of Vrindavan, there were mostly conventional types of demons, humans in human-like form. Mostly, the Dvivida was there also in gorilla form, who Balaram had the pleasure of dealing with him. Demons tried to kill Krishna, either physically, and in the present day, philosophically, they want to kill Krishna. Mayavad is an attempt to kill Krishna. The absolute truth, as described in the Vedas, has no hands, no legs, no personality. That's also stated, but they take it in the wrong way. They want to deny the personality of God, say he doesn't exist. So Krishna personally comes and he lifts up the earth, Varahadeva, which is a metaphor for us who are fallen in this material world, that however far we have fallen, he's ready to pick us up. And however deep our difficulty might be, he can sort it all out. We have to maintain an attitude of devotion to him, and he'll lift us up. He even took the form of a boar to uplift the earth. Of course, his eternal form is there. That's generally the form of a boar is not considered very desirable. It's a very low birth if you have to become a pig. But we shouldn't think in terms like that for Lord Varahadeva. So the two forms of Varaha, right? It's two forms. Listen on, you will be surprised. More than two forms. This is from commentary to Bhagavad-gita. As we learn from the Puranas, several incarnations of Lord Vishnu appear more than once at different times and under different circumstances. It is known, for example, that Matsya, the greatest of fish, appeared once at the end of a cycle of yugas to save the Vedas during the devastating flood of the universe, and appeared once more during a partial flood of the lower part of the universe to show his mercy to Satyavrata Muni. There are also two Lord Kuramas. One held Mandara mountain on his back while nectar was being churned from the milk ocean, and the other always holds up the earth. Similarly, Lord Varaha. There are at least 5 Lord Varahas, 5 manifestations of him. The first appeared from Brahma's nostril at the beginning of creation, lifted the earth, deposited her on the Garbha ocean, and then disappeared. The second saved the earth from a partial flood of devastation, killed Hiranyaksha, and went to Swargaloka. The third, the embodiment of Vedic sacrifice. We hear always Yajna Varaha. He's always connected with Vedic sacrifice. Taught the methods of sacrifice, lifted the earth, seems to be a regular thing, the earth falling down, spoke to her the Varaha Purana, and disappeared by his mystic power. The fourth took the earth and made her even by grinding down the excessively large mountains with his sharp tusks. The earth then assumed the form of his consort, Varahi, enjoyed with him, and gave birth to 2 sons. That Lord Varaha finally disappeared by merging into the form of Lord Nrsimha. And yet a 5th Varahadev perpetually holds up the earth from below. Lord Nrsimha also made several appearances, as we know from such sources as the Brihat Sahasra Nama Stotra. One Nrsimha defeated all the celestial mothers, another ripped apart Hiranyakashipu, and yet another assumed the form of a cat, an ordinary cat. There were also 2 appearances of Vamanadev to trick 2 different asuras, Dundhu and Bali, and there were 2 appearances each of Lord Hayagriva and Lord Hamsa. So there you go. If we go through the Shastras, that was Sanatan Goswami, found out so many things. Well, he may have taken it from another source also. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipano Sadharma Samsthapako. How wonderful is Krishna appearing in so many forms. Keshavadhrita Dashavidha Rupa. But we worship Krishna in 10 forms, but they're unlimited forms. We have to know the science of God, because if we think unlimited forms and then we don't distinguish between Vishnu Tattva and non-Vishnu Tattva, and then we take everything to be God, which means nothing is God. So it's necessary to understand all these things also. Okay, I'm going to read lengthily now. Jambudvip is divided into 9 varshas, and each varsha is home to a different avatar of Krishna. Nara Narayana live in Bharata Varsha. We're in Bharata Varsha. Bharata Varsha doesn't mean the land of India today. It's a lot bigger. And Bhuvaraha live at the opposite side of Jambudvip in Uttara Kuru Varsha. So in the same Varsha, but a long way apart by our calculations. Bhuvaraha, the earth, is always associated with Varahadeva. And we also see her appearing in pretty much all the Sri Vaishnava temples with Shri and Bhu, the two main Shaktis of the Lord. That's described in the Bhagavatam. Uttara Kuru Varsha is on the northern side of Jambudvipa. And Bhagavatam says, the Supreme Lord in his Boar incarnation who accepts all sacrificial offerings. So, Yagyavaraha means all the yagyas, they're offered to Vishnu, but particularly in his form as Varaha, he accepts them. He lives in the northern part, of Jambudvipa, in Uttara Kuru Varsha, and Mother Earth and all the other inhabitants worship him with unfailing devotional service by repeatedly chanting the following Upanishad mantra: Om Namo Bhagavate mantra, Tattva Lingaya, Yagya Kratave, Maha Tvarava Yavaya, Mahapurushaya Namah, Karma Shuklaya Triyugaya Namaste. This I chanted at the beginning of this talk with other prayers which are given in the Bhagavatam of Mother Earth and other inhabitants of Uttara Kuru Varsha, praising Lord Varahadeva. So I already read the translation of that. Uttara Kuru Varsha is 100,000 yojanas from this Bharata Varsha. Now, reading from Skanda Purana. Narada Muni had darshan of Varahadeva as Varahadeva was being worshipped by devas and rishis. So Vyasa said, formerly in the divine yuga, that's wrongly translated, it must be another Divya yuga, O Sutta, Narada, the most excellent sage, and excellent among the sages, went to the peak of Sumeru, which is extremely resplendent on account of different kinds of gems and jewels. In the middle, he saw the vast and divinely brilliant abode of Brahma. In the region to the north of it, he saw an excellent peepal tree. It was 1,000 yojanas high and twice that in extent. At its root he saw a heavenly mandapam, a hall equipped with different kinds of gems and jewels. It was adorned with thousands of ruby columns. There were clusters of necklaces of swastik design, made of lapis lazuli, pearls and other jewels. It was rendered splendid by means of divine torans, which is, you have that word in Tamil, toran? Yeah, just say toran, yeah. It's a decorated gateway. There were many kinds of birds and animals made of gems and jewels of various varieties. A big entrance made of topaz. The Gopuram, it's another kind of entrance gate, had 7 stories. That at Sri Rangam, 7. It was rendered splendid by means of 2 panels of doors made of brilliant diamonds. After entering it, Narad saw a divine pearl-set platform within. He got up there on the platform, which was set with lapis lazuli, some kind of gem. In the middle, he saw an exceedingly lustrous throne that was unequaled and very high. It had 8 brilliant legs and was studded with pearls. In the middle, there was a divine lotus, lovely with 1,000 petals. It was white and resembled 1,000 moons in beauty and splendor. It sparkled exceedingly with its pericarp and filaments. In its middle, so that's a description of where Varahadeva lives. And now there's a description of him who's much more beautiful and opulent than the place he lives in. In the middle, he saw a beautiful being in the form of a man as huge as the Kailas mountain. He had a brilliance of 10,000 full moons. He was seated within the lotus. He had 4 arms and highly magnificent limbs. He had the splendid face of a boar. So in his eternal form in the spiritual world, he has a human-like body, but the head of a boar. This excellent Purush had a conch and a discus in 2 of his hands, and in the other 2 he had mudras, granting boons and immunity. That's the Vara mudra, granting boons, and the Abhaya mudra, immunity from fear. He wore yellow garments, typical of Vishnu. The Lord, with long eyes resembling lotuses, had a gentle face resembling the full moon. His lotus-like face had the fragrance of incense. The sound of the Samaveda hymns issued from him automatically. He's the very form of yagyas. And the shruk, which is used in the spoon used in the yagya, that was his nose. And the shruv is his nose. He resembled the milk ocean. A crown enhanced the brilliant splendor of his face. He had the Srivatsa mark on his chest. He shone with a splendid white sacred thread. His strong and broad chest projected forward, shining brightly with the splendor of the Kaustuba gem. He was bedecked in divine ornaments of gold, studded with excellent gems and jewels. He was as sparkling as an autumn cloud overspread with clusters of lightning streaks. You can just try to imagine. With the side of his left foot, with the sole of his left foot, placed on a footstool, he constantly shone brilliantly with ornaments like bangles, armlets, bracelets, and earrings. Day and night he was attended by Brahma and the leading sages, who are Vashishta, Atri, Markandeya, Bhrigu, and many others. He was served and attended upon by Indra and other guardians of the quarters and groups of Gandharvas and celestial damsels. Narad bowed down to the Lord of the Devas and approached him. He eulogized Dharadhara, the uplifter of the earth, with excellent passages from the Upanishads. Narad, being extremely delighted, he came and stood near the Lord. In the meantime, there was the Dundabi drum. Sounding the drum means something important is going to happen. Then, what important thing happened? Bhumi Devi, the goddess of the earth, she came with her retinue, and description of her. Brilliant, extremely bright and brilliant, with her robes, her dress appeared to be like oceans, abounding in gems and jewels. She was bent under the waist of her breasts in the form of Sumeru and Mandara. She was dark in complexion, like fresh leaves of durva grass. She was adorned with all ornaments, accompanied by her friends, Ila and Pingala. Now, Ila is also a name of the earth herself. Then she offered at the feet of Varahadeva so many flowers which were being carried by her attendants. So the flowers are produced by the earth. They come from the earth. And her idea is that the flowers should be offered to Krishna. So if we take the flowers and we don't offer them to Krishna, then it's a crime against the earth also. That's why she gives flowers, so they can be offered to Krishna. Then she bowed down to the Lord, who's the Lord of herself, the Lord of all the leading demigods, and stood there with her palms joined in reverence. Varahadeva embraced her, placed her on his lap, and being very happy, he inquired about the happiness and welfare of the earth, saying, "O Bhumi Devi, I established you on the very pleasing head of Shesha. I placed the people of the world on you with the mountains as your assistants. Then I came here. Why have you come here?" The earth replied, "You lifted me up from the lower worlds and made me stable and steady on the head of Ananta, splendid with 1,000 hoods, as if on a high pedestal studded with jewels and precious stones. O Lord, you placed the mountains capable of sustaining me as my assistants. O Purushottam, the best among men, they are holy and identical with you. Now, O Mighty One, tell me about the chief ones among them who are my support." So she's asking him, and it goes on. There's a description. There are so many things. If you like, you can study the Puranas. Srila Prabhupada wanted them all. One of the early mandates he gave to one of his disciples was to translate all the Puranas from the Hindi translation. He told that to Achyutananda. It's been done, but the translations are maybe not so good. And it may be difficult to understand exactly, just like in the Bhagavatam verse we're reading today. The word is there, rasaya, and that Srila Prabhupada gave a translation of water, but it could be understood in various ways. Rasoham apsu konteya. Oh, that's a bit different. And the taste the word rasa can be understood in so many ways. So today is the appearance of Varahadeva. There'll be a yagya performed here. Every day there's yagya, Sankirtan yagya. There'll be a fire sacrifice, Varaha willing. We can remember that he is the Lord of sacrifices. All the forms of the Lord are apparent in Krishna, therefore the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also showed the Varaha form to Murari Gupta, who's Hanuman. His worship is directed toward Lord Ram, but to fulfill the desire of Murari Gupta, then Lord Chaitanya also manifested that form. So we worship today Lord Varahadeva. It's also a very suitable day for initiation. Some devotees have come here for initiation. So we wish you all the best. And Hare Krishna. And I'll finish there. Any question? No question. All right. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. It's the answer to all questions. Varahadeva Bhagavan ki jai. Just put on this, can you put on the screen this Vasati Darshana Shikare Dharani Tava Lagna? And we'll just sing that 3-4 times. Shashani Kalanka Kaleva Nimagna Keshavadhrita Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. That's the song. And we have to go to number 3. Yeah. Okay. Would you like to sing that then? You can take this.
Vasati dashana shikare dharani tava lagna Shashini kalanka kaleva nimagna Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Vasati dashana shikare dharani tava lagna Shashini kalanka kaleva nimagna Vasati Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Vasati dashana shikare dharani tava lagna Shashini kalanka kaleva nimagna Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare
Sri Varahadeva Bhagavan ki jai. Sri Varaha Dwadashi ki jai. Hare Krishna.